can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man. Now it's time to talk. Hey, 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 say my life. Hey.
Hi, welcome to Old Navy. Today we will be talking about one of the greatest movies of all time. Probably the funniest, actually not probably, definitely the funniest movie ever made. It is a cinematic masterpiece. It makes Citizen Kane look like a dumpster fire. And it is Meet Dave. Yes. So Meet Dave is a comedy made in 2008 starring Eddie Murphy. If you're not familiar with the movie, Eddie Murphy plays an alien who crashes to Earth to find this orb that has crashed into Earth and has landed with a boy. And in this movie, Eddie Murphy plays the character of Dave Ming Chang, and he travels to Earth to find this orb and track it down. And throughout the movie, he is clearly seen as he doesn't know how the humans act and doesn't know how to behave on Earth. And that is where most of the comedy comes in. Mm-hmm. The first 20 minutes of this movie are probably the best opening 20 minutes of a movie of all time.
Laughter,
when I say I fall on the floor every time I watch this movie, I fall on the floor every time I watch this movie. And it's actually been a while since I've seen it all the way through. I've actually seen it all. I really haven't watched this movie forever, but I used to watch this movie religiously as a child. But I laugh just as hard as I used to. It is so funny. I'd say the first 5 minutes especially are... Actually, I don't know. The first 20 are just golden. It's so good. Like, the situational comedy is probably what makes it the best, just because he's so, like, clearly not knowing how to behave, and it's just so funny. It's so good.
Yeah, the first 20 minutes had me, like, cry laughing.
Yeah.
And it's just so good.
This is your first time watching it,
It
right?
was my first time watching it, and a lot of good quotes come from this movie, too.
So it's so quotable, because, like, every, like, funny quote is just, like, something you can use in everyday conversation, because that's why it's funny, because it's, like, he is in just, like, everyday conversation, like, saying these outrageous things. Yeah. It's just, like, it's just so funny, because the way his character works is he's an alien, but there's a lot of like, the ship is Eddie Murphy. Like, their spaceship is Eddie Murphy. Like, it looks like Eddie Murphy. Like, it looks like a human. And there's a bunch of tiny humans inside of him, which the captain of the ship is Eddie Murphy. As you can see in the poster, if you're watching on YouTube, there's a little man inside of the spaceship. And Eddie Murphy's character is the captain of the ship. And there's a lot of other characters inside working for the ship. And basically what they do is anytime they don't know, like, what to do, like, in a situation, they, like, Google, like, what, like, you should respond to with, like, in a conversation, because they don't know anything about Earth or, like, how humans act or anything. So they look it up, and just, like, it's just so funny. I guess we could kind of go into some examples of some quotes here in a second, but...
Yeah, if you go on the IMDb... Oh my gosh, not IMDb. I can't speak. If you go on to IMDb and look at the page for Meet Dave, there's, like, the Did You Know section, and the only quote it has listed is "Welcome to Old Navy."
that is one of the best scenes in history of
there's more.
Cinema.
Okay. That was just the number one.
Gotcha.
I also wanted to bring up, there is a fun fact trivia type thing. And it says, to promote the movie, the studio put a big makeshift Eddie Murphy head on a trailer to tour the U.S.
Oh my gosh.
And I need to look up a picture.
That is incredible.
Dave Giant Head Tour. We'll try that. No way. No way. This is amazing.
Whoa. That is insane.
Oh my god, wait, there's a person coming out of the
Oh
ear.
my goodness. What I would do to have seen that in person.
Oh my gosh, wait, they have a video of making the head. There's not even a reveal at the end.
Wow, that's kind of disappointing.
Well, that's anticlimactic.
Oh, well, you saw the picture anyway, so if you're on the YouTube version. If you're not, if you're listening on Spotify, we have a lot of fun visuals over on YouTube.
Yeah, go
on our
check
video
it out.
podcast. So you might want to check it out. It's probably the better version.
Yeah.
But we appreciate all of our audio listeners as well. Let's just kind of go through some of these quotes because they are so
Okay.
good. So
Let me get
It's-
it pulled up here.
it's it might not be as good when we read it though. We might just have to like play the clips, but we'll just read a couple. Where is it? Where's the one I just found?
So like some of the ones that they put on here aren't even like funny or ones that I would quote.
Yeah. So here's one example. So Dave is looking at a picture of Gina's late husband, and Gina says, "Captain?" Dave says, "Yes." She says, "That's my husband. He was a captain with the Navy." Dave says, "I am a captain." "Really? A captain of what?" "I am a captain of crunch." So good, because they're Googling. So yeah, in this scenario, inside of the ship, all the people are. I think number 3 is the person who always Googles it. Played by Gabrielle Union. She Googles captains, like just because she's not familiar with Earth, so she Googles captain.
Yeah.
And obviously, Captain Crunch comes up. Oh my goodness, so good. The Old Navy scene is golden.
Yes.
It is so good. That's a long scene, so we can't really quote it, but we might put a video in.
Man, I even went to Old Navy yesterday. I should have walked in and said, "Welcome to Old Navy."
You should have told every single person
Oh my gosh.
in the store.
I'm gonna do that the next. No, I'm not. I can't do that.
Hi, welcome to Old Navy.
Yes, this is my size.
Alright.
Yeah, there's really. They did not put good quotes on this IMDb page.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're kind of reading the quotes is not as funny anyway.
Yeah.
It might ruin it, actually, if we say it in the podcast. So I suggest you just watch the movie. You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, you should be, if you're watching this podcast, you should have already watched the movie. Shame on you.
If you haven't, go to Tubi.com right now.
It's free on Tubi.
And watch it.
It is free. So yes, I highly suggest you watch that movie. It's only an hour and a half, which is amazing. Hour and a half movies are the best thing to ever exist.
Yes.
I love when movies are an hour and a half.
Ooh, I also want to bring up this was directed by Brian Robbins.
Yes.
And we looked up his director credits.
He is a genius.
And he's done Good Burger, Norbit, Shaggy Dog, Meet Dave, of course. And then under his producer credits, he's done the Fred movies. So, yeah, I think...
The man is a legend.
Yeah.
And he's currently, I believe, the CEO of Paramount and Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, clearly he deserves his position after what he's done.
I think they saw Meet Dave and they were like, you know what?
That's what
Let's make this man the
that's
head
what
of
it
our
was.
studio.
But yeah, Good Burger, are you kidding me? That is a cinematic masterpiece as well. You've never seen Good Burger. Well,
No.
it is a Nickelodeon movie, which you are not very fluent in Nickelodeon.
Yeah, let's just tell the people now. I've never seen Nickelodeon shows. I mean, okay, I've seen a few episodes of SpongeBob, but like...
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, it could be... Yeah, it's okay though. It's okay.
It's okay.
You've seen Meet Dave now, which
have.
Automatically makes that okay. So, anyway, yes, Meet Dave is so good. It's yeah, like I said, the first 20 minutes of this movie are probably some of the funniest. Actually, it's probably the funniest first 20 minutes in any movie in history of cinema, in my opinion. And probably, I feel like it's weird because I feel like I'm the only person who loves this movie. It is so
I liked
funny.
it.
Yeah, you watched it for the first time and you were dying, just like I was.
I was.
And I don't know. It was, if you go on like reviews, its reviews are really, really bad.
They are. I don't understand why.
Like, I guess we looked on Letterboxd, and I can't trust Letterboxd with movies like this because
people take it too seriously.
Letterboxd is so pretentious.
Yes.
And I love Letterboxd. I use it. I log every film on Letterboxd. So if you want to follow me and see more of my opinions, follow me on Letterboxd. We'll put the link in the description.
You can follow both of us on Letterboxd.
Follow both of us. Yes. We log every movie we see and leave fun little reviews.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, Letterboxd is pretty pretentious a lot of the times. So movies like this, you can't really trust the reviews on there. But if you look on just every other website, let's look up IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes has got a 20% from the critics and a 35% from the audience. Which movies like this, again, you can't trust critic ratings, but the audience score, 35% disappointing. But at IMDb, it's got a 5 out of 10, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's better.
For a movie like this. But it is, in my opinion, 18 out of 10. Mm-hmm. So good.
Somebody said it's mildly amusing. Are you serious?
It is the funniest movie. I have never laughed harder than the first time I watched Meet Dave. And that is, like, actually serious. Like, when I think of moments that I laugh as hard as I ever have, I think the two things I can think of are the Impractical Jokers episode where Sal is in the art gallery.
Sistine Chapel! Sick on!
That is number 2. I was on the floor for that for a good 5 minutes. And this is number 1. I was on the floor the entire movie the first time I watched this movie. And even I quoted this movie so much as a kid. It's so funny. Like, my brother and I watched this movie so much. And it's funny how much we quoted it because I didn't really remember a lot of these quotes. But, like, the second a scene started, the quote just came back even before it happened. It's like, as soon as he stepped in Old Navy, I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I remember how much we used to quote this thing. So good. It is so good.
Yeah, like, I don't understand. Someone said this isn't even remotely funny.
See, people,
Like,
I don't know. People just don't have a good sense of humor, I guess.
No.
Or maybe my sense of humor is just so bad, which it probably is considering the movies that I like. Garfield 2004, Alvin and the Chipmunks are cinematic masterpieces.
I mean, if your sense of humor is bad, then mine's bad too.
Maybe your sense of humor is just like, you know what? It's not bad. It's just different and better than everyone else, in my opinion. So, all you Letterboxd users out there, sorry, but we're better than you. I'm just kidding. But if you don't find this movie funny, I'm sorry, because you're missing out on something incredible.
Yeah. It does have an average of 1.9 stars on Letterboxd, which, if I'm thinking correctly, it has the same average as Morbius.
Like the exact same?
Exact same, 1.9
really?
for both.
Okay, so 2 cinematic masterpieces with a 1.9 on Letterboxd. I wonder what other movies compare to this on Letterboxd. Let's go to...
Oh, Pinocchio's lower. Dang it. I was hoping it'd be 1.9 and then it would have been like the holy trifecta.
Oh, man. Let's see. Alvin and the Chipmunks, the first one, has a 2.3.
Should be higher.
Let's go to... The Squeakquel has a 2.0, which is even worse than the first one.
I heard that 0.2 for some reason.
No, 2.0. Chipwrecked is 1.9. Chipwrecked is 1.9 as well. That is so funny. Okay. What is up with 1.9 in cinematic masterpieces?
The Lorax is a 2.9.
2.9. What? Wait, really? I didn't realize people didn't like that movie. I thought that...
We're gonna have beef.
Oh no. Okay, so right now we're looking at somebody that we know, that we are friends with, that we both follow on Letterboxd, and we see their review for the Lorax. We're not going to call them out on the podcast, but...
No. But we're gonna have beef.
I think if you're listening, you might know who you are, considering the movie we're talking about. But what's it say, a 1 star?
It says a 1 star.
A 1 star for the Lorax.
That's so sad.
Shame on you, first of all.
Oh.
Wow. Okay, I'm actually kind of... Okay, wow. I don't even know what to say to that.
I don't either.
Like, the soundtrack alone deserves 5 stars.
Right, like, have you heard How Bad Can I Be?
How Bad Can I Be is one of the best songs ever created.
I even almost named my town, or my island in Animal Crossing Thneedville, but it was 1 letter too long.
Dang.
The Animal Crossing gods
What
were
did you name it?
Banana Town.
Banana Town, interesting. Okay.
Very on brand.
Mine is Naboo.
That's on brand.
I almost named it Theed because that's the capital of, like, the city. But that would have been funny if mine was Theed and yours was Thneedville.
That would have been funny, yeah.
Want to hear something else?
What?
Guess what? Alvin and the Chipmunks: The Road Trip is rated
1.9.
1.9.
No way.
What is going on here?
Oh, wait,
What
I'm
is
gonna,
up with
I'm gonna make a
1.9?
list right now on Letterboxd.
What is up
cinematic
with 1.9?
masterpieces, but they only have 1.9.
That's a really good list. Okay, what is going on here? Okay, have you ever looked at the road trip poster? Why does Alvin look fake? Like so fake. Like obviously it's fake, but like compared to the other ones, why does he look so weird?
I don't know.
Interesting. That's
Wait, so
weird.
is that the lowest rated?
That and Chipwrecked are tied for the lowest rated.
Ugh.
I saw this. I was actually reading this article yesterday. I don't know when it came out, but about Chipwrecked. It was pretty interesting. Let me pull it up real quick. But let's see. Yeah, David Cross, who plays the greatest character in the history of cinema, Ian, Uncle Ian. It was talking about how Chipwrecked was the worst experience he's ever had working in his career. And let me try to pull the article up. But not because of, I think he had beef with the producer is what it was. Chipwrecked, Alvin and the Chipmunk. Okay, David Cross. Let's see. I don't know when the article came out. 2020. Okay. Oh wait, no. That's when. Okay, so I think it was like 2011, like right after it. But I think he was on. Okay, let's go to. It was on IndieWire. You said Chipwrecked is your favorite of the four, right?
It might be.
Interesting.
I was so disappointed to watch it and find out that Survivor is not played. And it's literally only a snippet where they're just sitting there like dehydrated.
Survivor by the Chipettes is one of the best songs ever made.
And that's not even like
it's
it's unironically.
I unironically listen to that song. I mean, I unironically listen to a lot of Chipmunks music, but that song, like, I'm sorry, Destiny's Child, but I think they have you beat there. Your version is amazing, and I really appreciate you for making the song.
The Chipettes
but
just
the
took it from
Chipettes
here to here.
It goes so hard for absolutely no reason.
It does.
It's so funny.
And when you're in a bad mood, it
yeah,
yeets you right out of the bad mood.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so good. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Alvin and the Chipmunks, 4 years later. Okay. Wait, did it take 4 years to make the movie?
Wow.
Or maybe when he he took the role, I guess. That's when. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, he says, this last film was literally without question the most unpleasant experience I've ever had in my professional life.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a big statement. He says, without naming names, he says, it's safe to say I won't be working with some of those people ever again. Not the actors and the director. They were all great. We got along. There were a couple people, though. It was just really awful, unpleasant experience. Which isn't to say the entire Chipmunks experience has been rotten for him. I got recognized in China, he says, listing off the places Chipmunks has taken him. I got recognized in a teeny tiny town in Mozambique, in Zimbabwe, Botswana. It's crazy. See, people appreciate
They do.
cinema
They do.
all over the world. Crazy how much reach they have. I'm glad there's an audience that can appreciate the cinematic masterpieces that there were. David Cross, I'm sorry that you had to experience such terribleness on set with some people, but I want to thank you for giving the greatest performance of all time.
Yes.
Because you are an incredible actor, and yeah, Uncle Ian is the best character of all time.
Correct.
So
And one of the most powerful.
The
most powerful.
Uncle Ian never loses.
That's true. He never loses.
I told you, Dave. I never lose.
I hate finding out that, like, things weren't good on movies that you love.
Yeah.
Like, on set and things.
Yeah.
That's not fun. But, yeah. It's still a cinematic masterpiece, though. So, what can I say?
I'm gonna take it back to Meet Dave.
Yes.
I found some more trivia on IMDb.
Trivia. Ooh.
Or not trivia, but fun facts. I don't know
Okay.
why they call it trivia.
Huh.
But so this was originally pitched by the co-writer Bill Corbett to sci-fi.com as a possible web series.
Really?
Which I wish it was a series, because that'd be fantastic.
Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that, actually.
I
I feel like I like the fact that it's a movie.
Well, actually, yes. Here's the... Wait. Eddie Murphy considers Meet Dave one of the worst movies he's ever made.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Mm.
And then during an interview, Scott, is it Can? I don't know. There's two ways. He teased Meet Dave 2, but due to the movie bombing at the box office, the sequel didn't happen.
That's really sad. What do I
Wait,
do
how
for
much
Meet
did it
Dave
make at the
sequel?
box office? $50.7 million. I think that's more than West Side Story brought in.
What was the budget?
$60 million, so it didn't even make that back.
So it didn't even break even. That's disappointing. I will say I did not see this movie in theaters. So I'm sorry to everybody who wanted to make a sequel. But I've watched it a lot since, that's for sure. And I bought it on DVD. I lost a DVD, which is one of the most sad thing that's ever happened to me.
Okay, I lied. It didn't make more than West Side Story, but it was pretty close.
Really?
Because it only made $76 million.
The new West Side Story?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Budget was $100 million, so that's not good.
Okay, here's a review from Letterboxd. That was actually the best thing I've ever seen. I laughed, I cried, peak cinema. So there are some people that love it out there.
That's just me.
Yeah, I'm just reading Nate's review on Letterboxd.
Yeah,
another one said cinema. That was me as well as someone else that I follow on Letterboxd. Shout out to Lydia who got me this poster. If you're not on the video podcast, head over to YouTube and you will find something really incredible.
yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you will notice it as soon as you open the video.
Wow, your review has 8 likes. Congratulations.
That's because that was the one that my Student Cinema Guild
that's right. That's right.
hot take. Everybody just liked it then and there. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's another one just to clarify. I have seen this movie 326 times, but Letterboxd won't let me change that I've rewatched it.
Oh yeah. So that was me. When I first logged this on Letterboxd, I accidentally forgot to put that I rewatched it. And it doesn't let you go back and change it like without deleting your review. And that was the most likes I ever got on a review. So I didn't want to delete it. Because clout, So yeah. So I had to clarify that in the comments. I have seen it a lot of times. So yeah. Anyway.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah. For sure.
And then cinema. This is the funniest movie ever made, and I laugh just as hard every time.
Yeah.
Cuts to the chase.
Yep, that was my opinion the other day after I watched it for the first time in a while. Right, let's go to some real people. I don't want to meet Dave. Half star. Oh
of course you want to
goodness.
meet Dave.
Hey, if you're listening right now, you want to meet Dave. You do. You
know
really
why?
do.
Because you've made it like 30 minutes into this
Yeah,
podcast,
if
and you haven't clicked off yet.
If you're listening right now, I really, really appreciate you. It's either I really appreciate you or you just happen to like scrub through and stop at this very moment.
Yeah.
But even if you did that, I still appreciate you. If you click on our video at all, yes, thank you, and we appreciate it.
Yes.
Let's see.
I just saw one and I lost it. Oh no.
I remember thinking, it can't be that bad, can it? This film nearly made me lose my firm atheistic belief. There must be a God because this film was clearly made by the devil, sent to earth to torment poor innocent souls. It's that bad. Really. Half star. Well,
wow.
I mean, listen, I respect everybody's opinion.
Mm-hmm. Theirs just happens to be wrong.
But if that's your opinion, I'm sorry that you live the way you do.
Yeah.
If you can't find this movie to be a cinematic masterpiece, then you're just wrong. I'm sorry, but you're just wrong.
Yeah.
No, not really. I really do appreciate everybody's opinions, and I find these reviews hilarious.
Yeah.
So, oh gosh.
Here is another one that is a 1 star. Have you ever wanted to watch Eddie Murphy say, "Welcome to Old Navy," 20 times and then pretend like he doesn't know how to put on a sweater? If so, this movie is for you. This movie and no other movies. Well, apparently we're only allowed to watch Meet Dave now, according to this person.
Well, I mean, I can't complain. If I could only watch Meet Dave, I would be happy.
You can never watch Revenge of the Sith, though.
Yeah, you know what? But there are worse movies if I was stuck to one movie that I could watch. So
That is true.
Yeah.
Citizen Kane.
Yeah. Okay, this one's interesting. This is also a half star. It starts off with a list, I assume by them. 10 worst theatrically released films I've ever seen. Why would the spaceship's nostril sharpen pencils? That just doesn't make sense. Okay, first I'm going to stop there. That doesn't make sense. The movie's about a bunch of aliens living inside of a spaceship that's shaped like Eddie Murphy. And you're commenting on the nostrils sharpening pencils doesn't make sense. I think you're the issue here.
Because the whole movie doesn't really make sense, but that's the point.
That's what you're gonna point out. Okay, let's get into it. Let's give him a chance.
Keep going.
Ever wanted to see what it would be like if Eddie Murphy was a horny spaceship? Well, you're in luck because there is this piece of trash, Meet Dave, which may be among the most unsuccessful comedies in film history. Not only did I not laugh, I wasn't even sure where to laugh. It was as if they literally forgot to put jokes into the film. The cuts are very erratic and the production is not great. The romantic subplot is garbage and the action is slow and boring. Surprised by how bad this is. That is an interesting review because, as I mentioned earlier, the comedy works because it's not like written jokes. It's more situational that there's an alien trying to figure out how to act on Earth. So when he's handed a bottle of ketchup for dinner, he drinks the bottle of ketchup and says, "Very refreshing. Thanks for the ketchup." That is comedy gold. And it's not a written joke to be a written piece of funny dialogue. It's the situation that makes this funny. But that being said, I respect everybody's opinions. And this movie is technically probably not that great, but in my opinion, it's a cinematic masterpiece. Okay, so, I don't know. They do mention that the romantic subplot is bad and slow and boring. I will say I agree with that. Well, not totally. It's not boring to me. But the first half of this movie is where most of the comedy is. Mm-hmm. Like, we were dying at the beginning. Yes. And you notice throughout the movie that you stop, like, laughing that hard. Like, it's still funny, but, like, it does get into, like, more of an emotional and romantic subplot, like, where Dave is realizing that they kind of understand humans, where originally they're there to get one thing. They didn't care about humans, and there's kind of a conflict within it with Dave, Eddie Murphy's character, Gabrielle Union's character, kind of like understanding this like humans and realizing that they're more complex than they originally thought. And then there's Ed Helms' character, which is totally against that idea. He's like, we're here for one thing, we don't care about these humans. And he ends up trying to take over as captain, and that kind of plays out, which, yeah, that's it's definitely not as good, but also you can't have the whole movie be like just straight like nonsense with no plot. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd probably enjoy it, but like, you know, you kind of have to have a story if it's gonna be a theatrical movie. But yeah, I do agree with that. However, I still enjoy it.
Yeah. Something I find interesting with movies like this that are just like, I don't know, we would categorize as like cinematic masterpieces, but other people are like, that's garbage, mm-hmm. is most of the time it's either 5 stars from people like us or it's like 1 star. Mm-hmm. I don't quite understand the people that give them like 3 or 3.5. It makes no sense.
I agree. Well, I can understand this movie being a 3.5. On a lot of movies, I can't. Because this movie, like, it is like a masterpiece for the first half, and then the second half it kind of slows down. So I could see somebody like that's their logic to give it a 3, because it would have been a 5. The first half is a 5, the last half is a 1. Maybe is that what's they're thinking. But yeah, there's some movie that's like, why even rate it if you're gonna rate it like a 3-star? Like it's either you gotta go 1 or you gotta go all out and give it a 5 just for the meme. Okay, here's a review, and I'm pretty sure that I left this review under like a different alias or something. It says, I love stuff like this. Someone trying to learn how to be human, being awkward, doing and saying the wrong things with a hilarious outcome. It's perfect switch off your brain fun. Not every film has to be a work of art. Most of the pretentious artsy Oscar-winning films bore the life out of most people. If you want to laugh, then this is for you. That is one of the best reviews I've ever seen.
That is very
because
true.
that is, I say this, I think I've said this in every single episode we've released because, well, except part of the Star Wars one. Actually, no, I did say in the Star Wars one probably because the prequels are fun. But we have done most of our episodes have been on like kind of stupid movies that we find entertaining. And that's what I always say. Not every movie has to be technically amazing. You don't need good cinematography. You don't need amazing sound design. Like, it can just be like what this person said, switch off your brain fun. Like, if I'm entertained, then that is good.
Yeah.
And that's all you need to do is entertain people, because at the end of the day, story is what is the best. That is the most important thing, because that's what people will be paying attention to, and that's what will keep them entertained.
Yeah, and I mean, like, when it's like 11 o'clock and you're like, I just need something to watch. Like, you're tired, but you don't want to go to sleep yet. And when I'm looking for a movie like that, I'm not going to go turn on, like, Inception or something that's, like, technically well done. I'm going to turn on something like this or The Lorax, and then it's going to, be sufficient.
That's the thing. We were looking for a movie to watch, and we're kind of in the mood to watch like something actually good. And then we're trying to find, for some reason right now, there's like nothing on any streaming service. That's like, there's obviously a lot of things, but like, you know how everybody struggles to like pick a movie and they just like spend more time searching, scrolling through Netflix than they do actually watching the movie?
Which we probably did.
Yeah, well, we did do that, and I do that a lot, but I'm saying this time there's really not anything that I could find. I don't know, like, I feel like every streaming service just took everything good off all at once.
Yeah.
It was weird. So we were like literally on like the last thing. Like we went through Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Hulu, Paramount Plus, and literally all of them. And then the last thing, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna check Tubi, because sometimes they randomly have just good movies on there for free.
Yeah.
And I went on there, and we've been talking about watching Meet Dave for a while, because it's I talk about it a lot, and I have a giant poster of Dave in my house. So, and then we were scrolling through Tubi, and there it was, and that was our sign, because at that point it was like 11:30, because we were trying to search for a movie for way too long, and it sounds like you found a really good review. But we ended up watching Meet Dave at 11:30, because that's the time. That's kind of the movie you got to watch at that time. Okay, I have to hear this review.
Wait, I got to plug first. We also took a 45-minute break. Actually, it probably wasn't 45 minutes. This is probably like half an hour.
Oh, yeah.
After about the first 4 minutes. So if you want to see what we did in that half-hour break, you should go to our TikTok at That Sure Was a Movie podcast.
Yes,
and
we do some fun stuff over on TikTok.
You will see the chaoticness in that video. It's not actually that chaotic. It's just funny. Yes. I think it's funny. Yeah. Anyways, this is a 5-star review. I have told my family to play this movie during my funeral in case people do not want to pay attention to the religious ceremony. After all, this is pretty much the same story anyway.
Oh my goodness. That is incredible.
I
love that.
I also like this one. This 5 stars. It says, a little known fact, this film is in Hitchcock's top 10 of all time. And I've seen a couple reviews like that.
This isn't funny, but this is so wholesome, I just have to read it. Normally I would rate a movie like this horribly, but I got to watch it with my favorite people on my birthday, so it makes it a bit more meaningful now. Smiley face. That is so wholesome. I'm sorry you didn't like it, but I just had to read that. I'm sorry. Yeah,
and then there's this one that says, this is 5 stars. This was so funny in 2008 from Redbox at your cousin's house in New Jersey during Thanksgiving.
Oh my goodness.
That's so specific, but I know the vibe they're going for.
Yeah. 2008 was a wild time. Oh man.
Wow. Cinematic masterpiece. Yeah. Modern classic. See, there's a side of Letterboxd that we belong on.
Yeah. We definitely belong on a certain side of Letterboxd, that's for
We do.
sure. Not a very popular side of it seems to be, but it's the good side.
It's the good side.
Yeah. Well, that's been another fun episode where we talk about chaotic movies. We may get a normal movie in here eventually.
Maybe.
But, that's just kind of the fun of our podcast. You get the irregular choices. So
Yeah. It's a surprise
anyway.
every week.
Yeah, well, I really have to be going now. Thank you for the catch-up.
It's time for me to exit into the night.